Hey, welcome back to the channel. TechBilly83 here, and I got some updates for you. So we're looking at our roadside stand. Well, actually, that is Roadside Stand, and this is Roadside Stand 2.0. So we're doing some upgrades here. We got our 4th of July / summer lighting. Actually, Memorial Day too, I think, right? Yeah. So this is where we sell our eggs, farm fresh eggs, washed and refrigerated, $5 a dozen. And show you some stuff in here real quick if I can find the key. And that the key just happened to pop right up, I think. Yeah. All right, so here we've got ourselves a little sawn-off thingy, smart switch, and an ESP32 thingy, which is got some power, and this is doing sensors. So there is a photo eye you can see right there on the old fence post, and that is what's going back to this ESP32. And we get alerts from Home Assistant when people walk up to the stand, and it plays a sound over our PA system of a chicken clucking, so that way we know it's a chicken customer. 12-volt power supply to run the sensors and some other stuff. Yeah, so you also got a sawn-off, I think that's a TH16 temperature sensor dealio. That's doing two functions. So in there somewhere is, I don't know, take my word for it, there is a temperature sensor in there, and you'll also know this, you'll see this 400 watt heater. So in the summertime when it's hot, the refrigerator just runs. This is actually a wine cooler, but it's basically a refrigerator. And you know, it just runs and it keeps the eggs at I think around 40 degrees. And we monitor it with that sun off. When it gets cold out in the fall, you know, late fall and early spring, when we're you know, selling the eggs at the thing here, we're not really open during the winter, you know, due to liability, obviously. We're fully insured, but I don't really care to test out the insurance policy. But this sawn-off here has the ability to turn on that 400 watt heater. And then I have a simple thermostat set up in Home Assistant to you know, monitor the temperature of the fridge and then turn off the heater when it needs to. So we temperature control this fridge pretty closely. We can monitor it, make sure that there's no problems as far as, you know, the quality of our product that we're putting out. That sawn-off thing in there also does these lights, so we can turn these lights on and off, and that's kind of how we indicate to everybody that we are open for business. So let's move on to Roadside Stand 2.0. So you'll notice here there's a lot of chicken coop paraphernalia here, and that is because this actually was our first chicken coop. So I completely tore this thing down, tore the roof off of it, tied back up. The Amish built this thing, and they put bubble wrap on top to act as a moisture barrier. Took it all out, gutted the whole thing, washed it, sterilized it, bleached it, bug bombed it, the whole 9 yards. Sat out in the sun for a few days, you know, so it had all the UV rays pounding down on it. Yeah. So we just got done drywalling, so we had to build a new subframe up here for the roof, or I should say the ceiling. This is not the actual profile that the Amish make. We kind of made this ourselves. The Sprout helped. She helped quite a bit. Yeah, So basically this corner is going to be where the POS, point of sale, is going to be. Oh, we got a house cricket up there. More on that later. So there's some data drops there. There's going to be shelving up on these walls all the way around. There's going to be, the egg fridge is going to go in the corner there. This wall is going to be soap. So the Sprout makes soap, old-fashioned handmade soap, all natural. Everything's natural and/or organic ingredients. And over here in this window there's going to be an air conditioner, and it's going to blow directly across onto the soap. And this thing's fully insulated, so we insulated the hell out of it. Glass bat insulation. All the wiring, is up to code and everything. The studs have the little metal plates on the whole 9 yards. We got LED lighting. Crap, I left my phone, so I can't show you the lighting. The lighting we control from Home Assistant already. Got a UPS in here. This is temporary. That's a 1500 with a beefier battery on it. In fact, you'll see the connector that's sitting there. That's the actual battery pack that goes to the UPS, but I just threw another 24 volt pack on there. That hole in the wall is temporary because we're actually going to have a 240 volt heater in the corner there. So that's eventually that wall is going to get opened up. We're going to put the heater in there, and by that point I should have some sort of other better outdoor enclosure for the UPS, and then the UPS will just go on the back side here away from the sun. I got low voltage boxes, and we got some orange interduct in there. I've got a patch cable in here already because I'm going to try and get a camera up in here quick, so that when the Sprout's here working and I'm not able to be with her, I can keep an eye on her, make sure everything's okay. So I got the smoke detector there. That's probably going to be a motion sensor. Or maybe that one, I don't know. Additional cameras. This yellow cable, that is a composite access control cable, so it's multi-conductor. There's going to be a 600-pound magnet up on the top there. That's how we are going to lock the stand at night. Because the one there currently, we I come down here every night and lock the door by hand with a key to secure the cash box. I mean, we don't leave money in it anyway, but why take a chance that somebody's going to screw with it or screw with the eggs? So there's going to be some additional boxes going in here. The idea is, after we close at night, Home Assistant is going to automatically fire that magnet. So there's going to be an emergency exit button here, like a stopper station, big mushroom button that you press and it'll drop the mag for a duration of time and, allow free egress. But yeah, we got cameras all over the place, or we're going to have cameras. Got this camera here, and we've got a camera up in here, hello, that watches the fridge. Because one day we had somebody come up here, some old lady, and we were watching her on that camera, and she was, bent over in here doing whatever. And we couldn't see the actual fridge. We couldn't see the product. And she was in there for a good 3 minutes. And we couldn't account for what she was doing while she was in there. For all we knew, she was some sort of bioterrorist and, spreading some sort of biological agent on our eggs so that people would get sick and then the state would come in and shut us down. Whatever. So we put that actually first what we did is we tossed all the eggs, every single last one of them, and cleaned out the whole refrigerator there. Cleaned it out, bleached it, Again, we didn't know what she was doing for the 3 minutes that she was in there. And it don't take no freaking 3 minutes to just say, I want some eggs and, take them and buy them and leave. So we got that other camera up above there. And now we get to watch certain people, come in here and open the cartons and then, select which eggs they want and mix and match. we've seen that once or twice, and every time that we've seen it, we try to run down here and yell at them, they've already left. So, but because we have the footage recorded, we can go back and remove the freaking product that they put their, you know, dirty fingies all over, because that's just disgusting and nasty. People suck. Anyway, so over here, all this wiring on the ground here is temporary. Don't worry about that. That box is eventually going to go over that, so don't worry about that. So here is, you saw that little cabinet on the inside there of the egg stand there. This is 2.0. So before, I had a single 15 amp 120 circuit coming down here, and when the refrigerator would kick on, the UPS would actually go into AVR boost. So we just lived with that forever. So now I ran 6 gauge 240 down here. So we've got proper service, and I got a disconnect on there. And now we've got you know, the automation stuff going on here. So this blue cable that's coming in here is the fire alarm. That's the smoke detector in there that you keep hearing chirping. This is the BRK relay, because that is a hardwired detector, and it's got the third wire on it. So this relay actually closes these 2 contacts here. I believe the brown is common, and the blue is the signal. So it's eventually I'm going to buy some green terminals so that it matches the green wire. And that's going up there to that block, which is soldered into the I/O on this ESP12F board. And you'll notice this is a wireless board because it's doing power switching, or you know, these are power relays. So these are 30 amp rated relays, and all the circuits that are going in there are either 15 or 20. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put the wall outlets on this guy. Don't know yet. Definitely this is the lights, so we can control all of the exterior lighting through that relay. I gotta make sure that I don't touch the contacts, because I'm looking at what I'm doing through the camera, and you know, depth perception is like wee. So anyway, those 220 amp circuits are the wall outlets. So I don't know if I'm going to actually control those through here or reserve those 2 extra relays for other stuff. Relay number 2 there, which is going to be the second 15 amp circuit, that's going to be for outdoor decorations. So like in Halloween and you know, Thanksgiving and all that, we put up inflatables, and we turn them on and off through Home Assistant as well. That's the composite cable that's going up to the front door there. That's for the 600-pound magnet, door position sensor, so we know if the door is open or closed. You know, the RTE button, or you know, emergency egress button, etc., etc. Which the emergency egress button is going to be hardwired in line with the magnet, so you're actually breaking the circuit and physically removing power from the magnet when you press it. And it's also got a time delay relay in it. All this cabling here that's, you know, going through the side of the enclosure is just temporary, so don't worry about that. There's our Smurf tube. Actually, this would be orange tube. It's not really Smurfy. Smurf tube's blue, but you know what I mean. I got a 6 amp circuit breaker in there to protect the power supply, because otherwise this 10 amp rated power supply would be coming off of a 15 amp branch circuit, which is no bueno if something were to overload. So I've got a 6 amp in there because I had already used my 10 amp breakers elsewhere. But you know, basically that's just to power this board and the magnet, you know, anything 12 volts. So motion detectors, the door magnet, any emergency, you know, or annunciation lighting, that kind of stuff. So there's not a whole lot of draw there, so 6 amps should be more than enough for that. There's our switch. So that switch actually used to be in the other little shack there on Roadside Stand 1.0. I frigged up the fiber when I was pulling in the power and everything. So that fiber is actually dead. I've got a replacement on the way. So I ran a Cat 5, and I've got lightning arresters on both ends of it. So hopefully they do their job and I don't fucking lose any more stuff. Oh geez, said a naughty word there. Oh well. Yeah, as soon as I get done with my project at work and get back to this, I'm going to be putting in a fiber optic patch cable. It's armored outdoor rated cable, but it just didn't survive the strenuous activities of pulling in the power. But oh well. So, I got some landscaping here to do to get this box put over top of all that nonsense, and then just build up the crusher run around it. Crusher run is basically just so we're not standing in mud. Got some tidying up to do here and there, but anyway, this is going to be the new Roadside Stand, where we're going to sell the Sprout soap and the eggs, and I might do a little train stuff in there. That's actually the enclosure for a transfer switch, a 200 amp transfer switch. It's NEMA 3R rated, so I just gutted it, plugged the holes where they had to be plugged, and I'm using the hole where the lever on the side went through just for these cables. But once these cables are in their final home, I'm going to actually cut that shroud off of there and then plug the hole with a ceiling plug. But we're mid-flight right now, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, so this is our little roadside stand. So it's going to be climate controlled, fully automated, and hopefully a lot more efficient for our lifestyle and everything. It saves us from having to come down here every night with a key. And it's also better for our customers, so that they can come in and relax, stay in the air conditioning, that kind of thing. We'll have cameras all around to keep an eye on things, keep everything safe and secure. Yeah, a lot of work into this thing so far. The Amish do really good work, but they do everything kind of wonky. Some of these walls were 24-inch on center, some of them were 16, some of them were like 20. And I think it's just because of the size of the windows, because they don't really use different size windows. They just use one window and that's it. And just the dimensions I gave them for what I wanted initially, it was what it was. But the issue is we had to get 23-inch insulation bats. So, the only place that had those was Home Depot, and they were only for 6-inch studs, so like 2x6 walls. Whatever. It was a little annoying, but at least we got the thing insulated. To spray foam it would have been ridiculous. Lowe's sells the 3M froth pack. That would be ridiculous for what the amount of coverage you get for what you're paying. No way. So really the only option is glass bats. So, but now it's at a point where we can start mudding, taping the joints and mudding and everything. Sprout's going to be working on that on the evenings after she gets done with her job. I'm working overnights for this whole week, so I'm pretty much unavailable for anything. All right, so that's that for this thing. All right, so let's go up to the shipping container train layout and check that out.